It wasn't really a designation, Becky. He just apologized from forming a government. For me, this government wasn't a solution anyway, because it is formed from the same political force that drove this country into this economical meltdown. I think they didn't want to form a government from the first place. And when I say they, I talk about the whole political caste, the whole corrupt junta that is running this country since 100 years. It's the same system, the same families, the same political parties, and it's failure after failure. Your reporter in Beirut described it very well. The country is on its knees, but I don't think having a government would have changed a lot. It would have been just a painkiller for a week, and then we would have seen more devaluation, we would have seen the same problems. Let me tell you first that they know exactly what they have done until now, and that's why they don't want to form a government, so they won't be held accountable for all the failure. So since 10 months ago, since the resignation of the previous government, they didn't want to form any government. They were waiting for international aid again, for the help and support of the international community that is not accepting to be fooled once again by the same political caste. So when they felt that there is no money coming to rescue them again, they decided not to form a government. And I think until the elections in 10 months, they will stay like this. Lebanon is in a very critical situation, much more than the civil war, much more than anything I've seen since I was born in the civil war. And it's just, everything is crawling apart, and there's no one who wants to be responsible. And in the same place, they don't want to step away. Well, Lebanon needs lots of humanitarian support, but with the humanitarian support, we need to delegitimize the corrupt junta, to sanction them, not to let them, travel or have assets and bank accounts any place in the world. They have to be held accountable for what they have done. For once, Becky, something is brewing in the international community. They're talking more and more to us. They're asking us what should happen for once in the country. They're taking the opposition seriously now, because whatever we told them before, now it's happening. We knew that this kind of governance will lead into a failed country. So yes, I think they're serious for once. I'm not sure, there's no clarity from the Biden administration. What we know right now that they're talking with Iran on Lebanon. And I really think if Iran wanted to form a government, it would have been so easy to have a government in place. So it's not only a Lebanese political internal issue. The Lebanese here, they don't want to see a government because there's nothing they can do, and they're facing an election year where they cannot tell their people anymore, we are not responsible. So they prefer not to have a government and to go to election with their internal blame game. In the same time, I'm sure there was no Iranian pressure to form an election. Unfortunately, in Lebanon, nothing is purely internal. These mercenaries, political caste, most of them are mercenaries to foreign countries. We are facing the worst crisis in the history of Lebanon, and there's no management. There's no one doing his job, not the government, not the caretaker government, and not new government, no one. I think people are awakened, aware, and we have elections on Sunday for the engineers, and you will see the results. The opposition is winning by a landslide everywhere. Unfortunately, the awakening came with a very high price, but for once, Lebanese people are saying no to the whole corrupt junta.